Now, the other thing that happened over the weekend, though it didn't exactly send me rigid, was that David Seymour delivered a State of the Nation speech, as politicians do. It's just the name for a speech. At the Yacht Squadron up in Auckland, I think it was, and old Brooke Van Velden was there in her pink jumpsuit, and all the party faithful. And I guess he addressed a lot of the claptrap being spoken around this country about, he's divisive, he's a white supremacist, he's a Nazi. And he just said, look, if you're not up to having a conversation, what is your problem? So it was a strong speech, and I think for his supporters it was exactly what they wanted to hear. And, of course, it drove the pearl-clutching, propagandised media just crazy. And I would expect some downstream from that speech at the Prime Minister's press conference this afternoon at the Beehive. But issues of race, well, they have been stirred up by a naughty media who are still, I guess, the residual, attitudes that were created by the government's corrupt Public Interest Journalism Fund and its guidelines for dealing with treaty issues that you had to agree to and follow if you wanted the money from the government to keep your failing media business afloat. It means that the way we cover issues of race, racial divisions or treaty issues in New Zealand in mainstream media is pretty amateurish and pretty one-dimensional. And debate really isn't the thing. And I think the people who lose out and all that are middle New Zealanders who are just getting on with their lives. We saw an example of this, I think, over the weekend with the Doubtless Bay Sport Fishing Competition, which is an event steeped in history, in Kiwi history, and an event that we were told wasn't going to go ahead because local Māori were outraged. It turned out local Māori weren't outraged, but a couple of, something stirrers, carcass stirrers, from the local iwi were outraged. The local iwi said, nah, it's fine. And from the reports I've seen, they blocked one boat ramp and one person who happened to be a Māori turned around. Everyone else got out on the water. So I thought we'd just check how the competition went itself. So we're joined now by a spokesperson for the Doubtless Bay Sport Fishing Club, in fact, their treasurer, Nick Ryan. Nick, how are you, mate?
I'm very good, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, bloody good. It looks like it was a good weekend for it.
We had the sun on Saturday, and despite a bit of rain yesterday, we powered on, and the community as a whole came out behind us, and we've had an excellent fundraising weekend, and boy, there was some fun had during and after.
I bet you there was, Nick. Nick, how many people took part?
I don't have the full numbers on it, but we're around about 20% up from last year, which is coming back from COVID. So we're in the region of 250 to 275, something like that.
Okay, locals or do people come from all over?
Yeah, I had people from Australia, had inquiries from England, but the majority of people and we have a big influx in from down south, but the far majority of the people are obviously from the far north.
Okay, and what is the prize pool? What's like the big prize if you win the comp?
Well, the biggest prize is what we call the average weight fish. It's a snapper. All the snapper that are weighed in over the weekend are averaged out, and the winner receives a cash payout of $5,000.
Okay, so it's not like winning lotto, but it's bragging rights, I guess.
No. This is a local charity thing where all the fish are weighed in, but they're also auctioned off after the weigh-in, and all those profits are reimbursed back into various causes around our community. Who
makes those profits? Who do you give the money to? What are the charities that benefited this weekend?
It goes from our volunteer fire through to a couple of our community centres, to one of our local schools via the Lions. It goes to the Artaka Thompson yachts so that we can push a couple of kids out on to do these events that they would never get to experience otherwise. JB rugby, ladies netball, the Far North Radio and Rescue. You know, it's hugely important.
Okay, so how much money do you pull in from the company?
Well, I haven't got that number for you either.
Give us a ballpark.
But we're hoping that we've made something in the region of and profits of around about $14,000-15,000 worth of profit.
Bloody good work, Nick.
Yeah,
and look, really, despite, if you're somewhere else in the country, you're reading the newspaper or you're reading Twitter, mate, there was going to be a revolution up there. It was like sleeping dogs,
Yeah.
But it wasn't really, was it?
There was a lot of noise in a box and empty tins,
Yeah. Okay, so how much argy-bargy was there?
I didn't see any whatsoever. I do understand there was a little bit of verbal going on a couple of occasions, and I think it's reported that one of the organisers was briefly arrested. But
one of your guys, or one of
one of theirs, one of the organisers of the protest.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. We didn't experience it. There was a slight confrontation between local marae and these protesters when the local marae tried to give us a blessing on Friday evening. They were refused access by these very staunch people.
I'm just going to tell you, Nick, because look, the way it was being reported, it was like the shootout at the OK Corral, at the OK boat ramp, It was these incredibly staunch Maori separatists fighting for their right to live and not be genocided. And you guys were basically wearing Ku Klux Klan outfits on your boats. But it sounds to me like that was really a bit of a beat-up.
Yeah, very much so, mate. Look, the highlight of the weekend was we give away some lucky dip prizes, mate, and there were maybe 15 or 20 of them unclaimed for whatever reason. So we called the kids up to the stage. There was a stampede as the kids came up and grabbed them, and lo and behold, they started to peel away after grabbing one. And there was one little chap who was a bit late getting there, dressed in green, and he missed out. He turned around and plunged back towards his parents, and the crowd went and luckily our MC spotted this kid and grabbed something from, a little prize from the back, and after howling at him to try and come back, and he was turned around by the crowd. His lip was out. He turned around, saw the MC with the prize. The face on the kid was magnificent. I wish I'd got a photo of it,
Yeah, probably in some ways, a sweeter memory for the fact that you didn't, Nick.
Yeah, well, maybe so. But the crowd roared